What's up, folks? Your buddy Fatalroadie. Tonight we're going to do the results for the SummerSlam pay-per-view. Start off with the only match on the kickoff show, Apollo Crews versus MVP for the United States title. This is a good match. I liked it. Both competitors putting on a pretty good showing. Crews hit the toss powerbomb, got the pin to retain his title. After this, it didn't take long for Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley to come running down the ring. Apollo Crews evades their attack and heads up the ramp. I will say this much for the Thunderdome. The video crowd, at least this time, looks a little bit more awake than it did on Friday. We then move on to the main card. Our opening match is Asuka versus Bayley for the SmackDown Women's title. We got Sasha Banks sitting at ringside. Right off the bat, these two went straight out mean in this match. Asuka nailed Bayley with a DDT from outside of the ring, and later Bayley answered back by nailing Asuka while she was draping over the rope. Sasha Banks did take a few shots through this match. One of them allowed Bayley to get the surprise roll-up to retain her title. After the match, Sasha Banks and Bayley beat down on Asuka. This is a good match. I did like it. Then we got Angel Garza and Andrade versus the Street Profits for the Raw Tag Team titles. Zelina Vega is at ringside. Here was another good match here. There were some pretty sick spots. It's the usual though. Montez Ford gets worked over, gets the hot tag onto Angelo Dawkins. He starts firing it up. Later on, Zelina took a bump. Andrade went to check her out, leaving Angel Garza to eat the cash out and the money shot, and the Street Profits retain their titles. In a backstage interview with Sasha Banks and Bayley, Bayley is happy that she won, and Sasha Banks is confident that she'll retain. We then have Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville. No longer a hair versus hair match. It's a no DQ, and the loser leaves WWE match. This is a good match. A lot of trash talking. There was fighting both in and out of the ring. After a flurry of running knees, Mandy Rose gets the pin. After the match, Otis comes running into the ring, celebrates with Mandy Rose, and Rose does probably the worst version of the Caterpillar I have ever seen. We then have Dominic versus Seth Rollins in a street fight. Murphy and Rey Mysterio at ringside. Early on in the match, Seth Rollins pretty much punks out Dominic. Eventually, Dominic does get into his own and starts taking it to Rollins. Dominic lights up Rollins with a kendo stick. Soon after, Rollins was able to return the favor. Rollins sets up a table in the corner, gets Dominic up on the turnbuckle. Dominic was able to reverse everything and sending both of them through the table. That looked sick. Rollins starts waylaying Dominic with a kendo stick. Murphy grabs a pair of handcuffs. Murphy tries to take out Dominic's eye onto the steps, but Rey Mysterio runs over and stops him. Rollins and Murphy lay out Mysterio, handcuffing him to the second rope. Dominic starts to fight back. He hits the 619 on Rollins, tries to go for a frog splash, but ends up catching Rollins' knees. Rollins hits the curb stomp and gets the pin. Not bad match. I liked it. Pretty good showing for Dominic for his first time in the WWE. Then we got Asuka versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship. Bayley's at ringside. Right off the bat, Sasha Banks goes for the knee that Bayley injured in the previous match. Sasha Banks does a mean flipping powerbomb, something looked like that, off the apron. Later, Asuka pays her back with a DDT from the second rope. Asuka reverses the backstabber into the Asuka lock. Sasha Banks taps out, and Asuka is now the new Raw Women's Champion. We have Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the WWE title. This was a very physical match. Both Orton and McIntyre get busted open. Orton attempts several times for the RKO, but to no avail. Orton tries to go for a punt. Drew McIntyre catches him, hits him with a powerbomb. McIntyre tries to go for the Claymore kick. He misses. Randy Orton tries to go for the RKO. McIntyre reverses it into a backslide pin, gets the win, retains his title. Good match. I like that. Was physical as hell. And in our main event, we got Braun Strowman versus The Fiend for the Universal title. This is going to be a Falls Count Anywhere match. They really didn't take long for this fight to go outside of the ring, slinging toolboxes, chucking people onto tables, going backstage. This was a mean match. Back in the ring, Braun Strowman grabs a box cutter. Everyone was thinking he was getting ready to start cutting on somebody. He starts tearing up the ring mat. He stands up, but the Fiend's already in his face, hits a Uranagi, nails him with two Sister Abigails, and gets the pin, and is now the new Universal Champion. As the Fiend is celebrating, out from nowhere, he gets a spear from the returning Roman Reigns. Reigns goes outside of the ring, nails Braun Strowman with a spear, grabs a chair, smashes the hell out of Strowman, gets back in the ring, nails the Fiend with another spear, grabs the Universal title, and stands tall as we end tonight's SummerSlam. Tonight's pay-per-view was good. SummerSlam was really good. I was actually surprised. I think they pretty much ironed out the bugs that I mentioned previously. They kind of worked out the crowd noise. It didn't look like everybody was asleep on the video crowd thing. I liked it. Really good. And in a week's time, we have another pay-per-view, Payback. Okay, but we'll have to see what happens on Raw for the Fallout and later on SmackDown before we get to Payback. And that'll do it for the results for the SmackDown pay-per-view. Leave a comment down below what you thought of tonight's pay-per-view, what you thought about this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. I've been Fatalroadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.